So if you're a fan of Asmongold, again, I'm going to defend this point of his because I don't think people were actually looking into it more critically. And he made a point about oppression and how how people who are oppressed are affected by the lesser of in their immediate lives. But I don't want to waste too much time, but I do want us to just take a look at what he said, and then I'm going to get a little bit more in depth to it and just give my opinion on it.
The problem, people are really not going to like this. You're not being oppressed by the top 2% of society. You're being oppressed by the bottom 2% of society. And the bottom 2% of society have caused all of the manifest problems in your lives are caused by the bottom 2% in society.
Hey, listen, now, a lot of times, years ago, I would have been like immediately offended by this. I would have not used critical thinking skills and I would have just immediately been emotional. But there is some truth into what he's saying, right? Like, what he's essentially saying is that most people in their immediate lives are not directly harmed by billionaires or CEOs in their daily lives. So that's not something that's happening. A lot of the times, people are more likely harmed by crime, addiction, violence, assaults of many different types. You're not affected by, like, billionaires are not killing you. And it's a valid point. And it's different from saying, like, the poor are responsible for all of the problems. That's not what he's saying. And it's definitely different from saying, like, the rich have no influence. I don't think that's the point that he's making. Now, this is something that somebody said on Twitter that I want to take a look at because I just found it to be interesting. This guy said he's literally doing the meme of the billionaire with thousands of cookies telling the construction worker, blah, 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 blah. The point I made here was, use your critical thinking skills and just ask, why would he say something like this? And this is literally how when I approach something, I always take this route. Like, I don't immediately get emotional. Not anymore. Before, I would get, like, really emotional about these kinds of things, and I would just have this overreaction to something instead of just being like, let me actually look into why he would say something like this, because that gives me leverage in a way where I'm exercising thinking for myself. And that's not something that you see people do a lot nowadays, And I think this is just a matter of, it's a matter of not really following the masses. And I don't like when people take these whole entire clips and then just, like, take them out of context. There was another thing, I'm trying to find it for you guys, where I commented on it. I think this is it right here. Somebody else posted the same clip, and it said this is the most incorrect anybody has ever been about anything in human history. And even just this comment itself, it's just so, like, there's no, like, tell people how, like, explain it. And this is, like, one of the comments I left was explain how, because he's making a good point. You also, and just kind of telling people they should post the entire point without just, giving this little short clip, because there's so much more to it. That P explained, but this is the world we live in, where this short form content or content is just manipulated to these short clips that go viral, and it takes people out of context, and it's annoying, dude. Like, nobody wants to deal with that. But this is just a little something I wanted to share because it definitely was something that I initially was like, what the fuck is Asmon talking about? And then I actually went and looked into it, and I was like, damn, like, he actually has a really good point about a lot of this. Like, I never thought of it that way. And how, like, the world is making it seem, like, a lot of people make it seem like billionaires are just, like, holding people down and killing them and doing all this stuff. But that's good emotional rhetoric, right? When you actually have to face reality, these things become a lot more nuanced and complex because it's an oversimplification to just say that, billionaires are the reason why people are struggling. That's just an example, but it is an oversimplification because a lot of this stuff is way more nuanced. But that's really all I got for that. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think it's just a lot more. This is just how my brain works, dude. If I see something like this, before I would absolutely get like emotionally charged, but now I'm just like, I slow down. I go, well, let me just actually see what, like, the merit to this, or if there's any nuance to this perspective, as opposed to just reacting emotionally. But anyways, cool. Thanks, guys. I will see you on the next one. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments whether or not you agree with Asmon. I definitely agree with this point. I don't think it's the entire thing, but I think he's giving, from what it sounds like, if you watch him enough, you would see like he's giving a broad point, maybe not the entire point, but yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.